Hello everyone. So this is going to be kind of more of a serious, sad, kind of scary type of story time. And I was kind of debating on whether I should actually make this video or not at first because I felt like it was kind of disrespectful because of what happened, and you'll know when I get further into the story. But in one of my recent videos I actually had said that something was going on in my neighborhood. I didn't say what was going on in my neighborhood, and I knew that you guys were probably wondering, so I figured I would make a video on this just to let you guys know what was going on. So first of all, I just want to say that our neighborhood is a very small, little, tight-knit, kind of together kind of neighborhood. I've lived here my entire life, and nothing bad has ever really happened in our neighborhood. And the little wooded, I want to call it a holler, but that's what West Virginians like to call like little streets and stuff. The little street, the little wooded street that I made my Slender Man short horror film, and also where I filmed those EVPs with my dad, like I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago. If you keep walking up there, there are these two houses. And for a long time, these houses were not abandoned, but they were like nobody was living in them. Well, whenever I was younger, there were a few people that lived up there, and they were really nice people. Like, we never seemed to have a problem with any of them. There was one that we weren't really too sure about, but the rest of them were really nice, and ever since then they have moved away. After that, there was this guy, and he bought the property and those two houses, and he opened it up for people to rent. Ever since then, he's had the hardest time for some reason keeping people to live up there. I don't want to sound offensive or offend anyone in any way, but that area seems kind of secluded, and it's just hard for me to see anyone who, like nowadays, seeing anyone live up there, just because, like, I heard that there's no satellite, they don't have TV, and it's just hard for me to see anyone who, like nowadays, living in an area like that, unless you wanted to be on your own and kind of secluded from everyone else. I mean, that wasn't his fault, but it was just like the area itself. Almost all of the people that moved up there seemed kind of sketchy, and like, I'm not trying to make that sound bad, but most of them that lived up there, they just seemed a little off, in my opinion. I'm not trying to sound judgmental or anything like that, but you guys will understand what I'm saying when I get further into the story. About 3 or 4 years ago, I want to say, this couple moved up there, and they had a young daughter and a son. And they were only up there for, I want to say, like a whole summer, and then they moved out shortly after that. Then the family that had the cat, which if you guys watch my Follow Me Around vlogs, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. My cat Rocco was actually my neighbor's cat, and they weren't taking that well of care of him, so I decided that I was going to take him in. And whenever they moved out, I think someone got upset or something, and I don't know exactly who did it, but I think someone got upset and, like, knocked all of the windows out, like, broke holes in every single one of the windows in all of those houses up there. And, like I said, I don't know who did it, and I wasn't there when it happened, but I seen the holes in the windows, and I know that it did happen. But this family moved away in, I want to say, 2014. So they weren't up there for very long, but they were probably like some of the longest people that have lived up there. I'd say that they lived up there for like 2 or 3 years. So they lived up there for a while compared to everyone else. Or at least 2 years, I want to say. They weren't up there for that long, but they were up there longer than, you know, everyone else who lived up there. Here recently, I want to say at the beginning of the summer, kind of like in June, the same couple that I was telling you guys about before, the first couple with the 2 kids, moved back up there. And once again, I'm not trying to sound judgmental or mean or anything like that, but it seems like ever since they moved up there, like, there's been a lot of police cars and a lot of stuff that's been going on that never really happened around here before. Like I said, I've lived here my entire life, and nothing seriously bad has ever really went down. But whenever they moved up there, a lot of this stuff started happening. You would see the guy that bought the property and the houses, what I want to call their landlord, going up there all the time. And I'm assuming he was just going up there to collect rent money or whatever, because he was renting those houses out to those people. I never really thought anything of it. I just thought that, he's up there doing what he has to do. I want to say it was like 3 weeks ago. I was sitting in my room on a Tuesday night watching YouTube videos. Just like I always do on those nights. I always sit and binge watch my YouTube videos. And I was sitting there watching my videos, and I had all my windows open. I had seen their landlord go up there. Shortly after that, a police car went up there. And then after that, an ambulance went up there. And I was getting kind of concerned because where we live, we're kind of like the last house before you go up there. So it's kind of scary, if you can imagine. Like, you want to know what's going on because, like, you're that close to it. A night or two later, probably like that Thursday, because this happened on a Tuesday. Also, I should mention before that that couple with the kids moved out that Sunday, and this ambulance and the police car and everything went up on a Tuesday. So I hope I'm not confusing you guys, but yeah, this actually happened on a Tuesday. That couple with the kids moved out on that Sunday, and then Thursday we got a call from one of our other neighbors. And she's telling us, like, this is none of my business, but she was telling us what was going on because she thought that we had the right to know because our house is, like, the last one before you get up there. So she was telling us that their landlord had got beaten up. And he had got beaten up so badly that, like, you couldn't even recognize who he was. Like, he was just beaten up that bad. Like, one of my other neighbors had actually found him up there and called 911. And had she never come up there, like, they would have never even found him. And he would have been up there, and he probably would have died up there, which is really, really sad and scary. Thankfully, they did find him. They took him to the hospital, to the emergency room, and he was put on life support. And they weren't really expecting him to, survive for that long. Like, he just wasn't in that great of shape. They didn't know exactly who done it. They don't know what happened. But the police at first were trying to say that it was an accident. Like, he had fell off his porch. Like, someone said that he had fell off his porch. Which, I don't know where they got that. But if someone's beaten up to the point where you can't identify who they are, then obviously it wasn't an accident. Something more has had to have happened. And I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anyone because I don't know what happened. It's really none of my business in a way. But at the same time, it's very concerning because if it's your little neighborhood and nothing like that ever really happened, you want to know those things, And then I think that it was like that Friday we got another call from our neighbor, and she told us that he had actually passed away. It's just really sad, because he was going up there doing what he had to do. He probably wasn't even expecting anything like that to happen. And then it happened, and like his life was taken from him so quickly. It's really sad and it's really scary, and I'm not going to let it stop me from going outside and doing the things that I want to do out there, obviously. Like, I'm still going to do what I want to do outside. I'm not going to let stuff like that stop me. But it's really scary because you can't really go anywhere or really do anything anymore without something happening. Like, you hear there's a shooting every day, or there's a terrorist attack, or there's just something always happens. And, like, it's sad that in an area where it was so, like, it was a nice little place to grow up. It was a nice little place to have a childhood, and nothing bad ever really happened around here. It's just sad that, something like that has to happen. But yeah, I don't know really what happened. I think that I was told that they caught the person, but I don't want to say who it was because I'm not for sure if that's who it was or not. But I heard that they caught the person, which would be a good thing, but I don't know for sure yet. But I will keep you guys updated on the story. My thoughts and my prayers go out to this guy's family and his friends and everyone who was affected. And I just hope that they are able to find justice for him. I wasn't really sure at first if I should make it like I said, but I figured you guys would want to know, so that's why I decided to make this video anyways. It wasn't really on the funny side, it was more of like a serious, sad, scary type of story time. I guess I'll see you guys in my next video.